All right, folks, as we continue here on Smile, we may have slowed down, but the pandemic has not. And despite our best efforts to protect ourselves and loved ones, because of the unavailability of the vaccine for kids under the age of 12, they remain at great risk.
All right, so with them going back and forth from face-to-face schooling and home, how can we protect them? Well, here to tell us that this morning is Dr. Everton Baker. He's Director at Environmental Health, and I think he works at the Ministry of Health. Doc? No?
Yeah, actually, I'm Everton Baker.
Everton Baker, not Doc.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet, working on it.
Morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Yeah, thank you, Neville and Delia, and to your viewers.
Yeah, first question. Were you in agreement that they should restart face-to-face? Because as we said, as Delia just said, we're not out of the woods yet, and things actually got a little worse since then. Should they have started back that?
Yes, Neville, all things being considered, when we look at how we developed in terms of the pandemic and getting back to life, we recognize that we tried without success to get the kids into school. And they are out of school for almost 2 years now. And that would have created some serious impact, some psychosocial impact on the students. And you recognize that children need to interact, they need to play. That's part of their developmental process. Mm-hmm. So we had to make this recommendation for that to happen because for the greater good. And we would have seen the measures that we put in place prior, which was drilled in, what worked. And we have moved to some new, additional measures for students when they leave school as well.
Yeah, one of the things I like about it, Mr. Baker, is a lot of the conversations that we've been having because schools were out have been with adults, and so when you come from work, this is what you do. And so for the children, it hasn't been as consistent. So tell me, what are some of the things that we're saying to the children between face-to-face and home? What do they need to do? What are we saying?
Yeah, we're saying to the children, you have to play a part as they have been doing in the management and the control of the spread of the COVID-19 virus. So we are really saying to them that they are to pay some special attention to their activities at school, and in particular when they leave school, because we recognize that we collaborate with the Ministry of Education, the principals, the Parent Teachers Association. We are doing very well at school, but we want the parents now and the students to be responsible when they leave school. So we are saying, when you get home, you should at least try to wash your hands with soap and water and ensure that you remove the mask that you wear. The mask should be properly disposed of, especially those disposable ones. The cloth masks, that we have some fancy ones, those should be washed. And, because we want them to be clean for the following day.
Right.
We are saying that.
And you're suggesting in the same place that they place the uniforms, that they just put the masks there as well?
Certainly, because whatever germ, and it's not just COVID germ, any germ that you pick up, you want to ensure that you minimize the risk of the germ spreading as much.
What if it's only one uniform I have, Mr. Baker?
Well, in Jamaica, some people are privileged to have daily 5 uniforms, one for each day.
Right.
But some students are not. So we recommend that you if you can't, sometimes persons used to wash and in time past place it behind the refrigerator. We don't have those kind of refrigerator probably again. So what we recommend as a ministry is that we place these uniform in the sun. Some students are home early, or we just air dry them. Because once they're exposed, the virus is fairly delicate. So once it's exposed, then it will reduce the risk and the number of organisms, if any, would have lodged.
And one of the things you're saying as well is that they should shower immediately, or as some of us have to do, tidy, eh?
Yes, right there, because we have to cater to all across Jamaica.
Right.
Because we know in some places piped water is not so frequent. So we are saying shower as far as is possible, but those who can't, you need to clean up, tidy, as we say in Jamaica. and make sure that behind your ears, your hair is properly washed, you're clean, and so that you will reduce and the germ that are lodged.
Yep.
Because we are out in the environment, we are going to pick up these germs
Yep.
from time to time.
I want to go back to something that you said earlier, Mr. Baker, about the responsibility with the youngsters at school. That is difficult. I mean, I don't see my little virgin in class for 2 years, and you know, I feel nothing do wrong with me and nothing do wrong with him, so we hug up and we run up and down. That's difficult, and I don't think it can be said they're not responsible if they behave like that, because they're youngsters. How difficult is that to get these youngsters to understand it's a serious thing? Keep your distance. This is a serious thing. That's difficult, isn't it?
Yes, Neville, that's a crucial point, because students and children, they have the natural propensity to just gravitate to each other. They want to hug, they want to kiss, they want to share their sweets. But Neville, I believe that COVID would have made a significant change in how we behave. I think the students, whether at school, church, wherever they go, they are drilled into knowing that this is what you do. And what we are in, and why the measure was balanced, is that we are in a risk reduction. We have to look at the risk and say how best we can reduce the risk and not absolutely get rid of the risk. These teachers, thank God, they are there to monitor, and they are ensuring, even with lunch hours, it is organized, it is balanced, because we all know the risk. So the risk is there, Neville, and we're not getting away, but we have been doing a number of things with our field staff. We have different members of our team in the field. We are educating as well. So all hands on deck. We are managing to a great extent, and we know that children in school is the best thing really for them.
Yeah. It takes a cross-sectoral partnership, Mr. Baker, because you're speaking from the Ministry of Health, but you know the Ministry of Education as well is who interfaces with the children every day. So this initiative, who leads, who executes, who makes sure, who monitors to make sure it works?
Well, it's all of ministry, department, agency, all of government, all of sectors, the community, the parents. Everybody has a responsibility.
Right.
So we would have been in different fora, and we sold this concept that it's a join up approach. And ministry, the two ministries, main ministries, they are the main lead, the two ministers, the two leaders, all hands on deck. So it's a really combination of effort to have it done. We have our role to play, because we are really monitors, we are kind of regulators. We make the rule, we ensure, because going into the schools to inspect, we do not only look at the COVID standards and what is required, but other environmental standards, to make sure that at least the minimum requirements are there for the schools as well. So it's a whole join-up approach.
Yeah.
I was reading, and I was a little surprised that they said up until the end of last year, we had 10,382 children tested positive under 17. That kind of surprised me. They said 17 years and younger, we had 13 deaths. I don't know if you have done anything since we started face-to-face. Have you heard of any school, any kids has that gone up, or has it settled off, or we're not seeing the kids testing positive now?
Well, Neville, we have not had any, as you rightly said, have you heard anything on the ground?
Yeah.
And for our scientific interventions, we have not heard anything adverse. Right. There are a few schools with a number of cases, and that is kind of indicative of what is happening in the society.
Right.
But there's nothing, as far as my knowledge goes to date, that will require any serious intervention, like closure of a school.
Okay,
so
fantastic.
Based on what's happening, I think we have been doing very well.
Fantastic. Good to see you, sir. Stay safe. Thank you for being with us this morning, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you, Daly and Neville.
Yeah, man. Everton Baker, Director at Environmental Health.
Yeah, well, the Environmental Health Unit at the Ministry of Health.
Yep.